Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome aboard the world-famous studio tour here at Universal Studios Hollywood. How we feeling today, everybody? All right, I got some waves, got some thumbs ups. I love to see it. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. Happy to have you. 2 thumbs ups. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a good time with that. All right, we're going to be on our way in just a few minutes. But first, let's make sure we get everybody on board. So please fill in all those seats towards the right-hand side so we can get as many friends with us as possible. And also very important, if you have any small children with you whose feet do not touch the ground, just make sure they're seated away from those outside gates for their safety. Take a second, rearrange your party before we get going if needed. We're going to be hanging out today for about 45 minutes to an hour as we explore our real working film and television studio. Got a lot of stuff going on. Also something really exciting that happened today. Our Metro sets are open. They've actually been closed for many months because they were working on a really big project out there. I can't talk about it, but it was something really big happened. So it's been closed. So we finally get to go in for like the first time in like 5 or 6 months. It's been pretty cool. So yay, good stuff. Working on a lot of different shows happening out here. So I want to tell you about one of them. It is called The Paper. And it is a spin-off of the long-running comedy The Office. Take a look.
We sell products made out of paper, toilet tissue, and local newspapers. That is in order of quality.
My name is Ned Sampson. I am your new editor-in-chief.
Have you read this paper?
It sucks.
No.
But we are going to make it better. I hope it's not too disruptive to have me shake everything up.
Don't be so self-deprecating.
God, not again.
So that's The Paper, one of the many shows that films right here. All right, folks, this last order of business is making sure you're all on board. Make sure you're hanging on to any loose items. If you're sitting towards the outsides of the gates, always recommend if you got like a cell phone or lip balm, moving that to the inside pocket so it's a little harder to fall out. We also do have a quiet cabin pack practice, so if you're going to be watching any videos on your tablets or phones, just make sure you pop in those headphones or turn down the volume so that we can all enjoy our time on the tour together. All right, gates are closing. Watch your fingers, watch your toes. It's almost time to leave, so I should probably introduce myself. My name is Emily. I'm going to be your tour guide, so you can say hi. Emily. Hello. And it's not just me up here. We have our driver. His name is Moose. Everyone say hi, Moose. And now we're going to say goodbye to all those people. See ya. Bye. They'll be on the tram right behind us. All right. We've already met me. We've met Moose. And if you have questions, I'll let you ask them at the end of the tour if that's good. But we also got to introduce you to our celebrity co-host. Might recognize him from The Tonight Show. Welcome to the screen, Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Emily.
And the greatest drive.
Moose.
They're the best. I love it. Even though
Emily.
owe me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety.
That's right, everybody. First, if you have a medical emergency or drop something of value off the side of the tram or have any major sound or video issues, please reach out, grab that red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and return to a seated position. I'll come back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during this entire tour, as the studio is private property, you must stay on board this tram. Do not disembark for any reason unless otherwise instructed. Keep your arms, legs, and personal items inside the gates at all times and remain seated. As a reminder, there's no smoking, vaping, or use of selfie sticks allowed, and be prepared, this tour is going to feature loud noises, sudden train movements, fire effects, and water effects. Lastly, you do not have to wear anything, or sorry, I'm saying things I don't even need. You can wear sunglasses if you want, SPF, it's a strong, bright day. If you want to take a nap, that's okay too. This is the only place you can sit for 45 minutes, I like to say. All right, and with that, your safety spiel. Feeling good? Feeling ready? Yes, excellent. And now I can officially say welcome to Universal Studios Hollywood, our namesake, because we were a movie studio long before we were ever a franchise or a theme park or anything of that nature. Quickly, though, I do want to point out, coming up on our right-hand side, we have something very special to us here at Universal, and it is our very own fire station. Not props, not actors here at Station 51, but real heroes who are here 24/7, making sure that we stay safe. So as we come around the front, the doors are open. Let's give our firefighters a big round of applause. Woo-hoo! from Murals with us. Their station number 51 comes from the TV series Emergency, which was one of the NBC shows that aired back in the 70s. And actually, NBC is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. So we're celebrating our network all year long. And it's pretty cool being a part of the company that has been like a trailblazer in entertainment, sports, and news for an entire century now. But us here at Universal Studios Hollywood, we've been here a little longer, actually since March 15, 1915. So on screen, you'll see our founder, Carl Laemmle. He was an immigrant from Germany who made his way to sunny Hollywood and didn't just found Universal, but he also created our original studio tour. Back then, movies were a new technology, so a tour was a great way to build excitement for his upcoming pictures. And back then, though, I gotta say it was a walking tour as well. So fortunately for us in the 1960s, that's when they introduced the tram edition of the tour. So today you get to ride in style, stay out of the sun. But it also means today you're joining literally a century-old legacy here in Hollywood of guests coming into Universal to learn about the movie making magic. And that magic happens here in this area we call the front lot. As you look around, you'll see these large black and white buildings everywhere that we call the sound stages. Inside is where you build your set, your filming location. And on screen, here are some iconic Hollywood moments that happened right here. So as you can see, quite a variety of different productions have been here on the lot. Got to pause the screen so you can see what an empty soundstage looks like. Kind of resembles a vacant Costco. No samples, no fun. But it does become fun when our set pieces are built and it can truly be transformed into anything you can possibly imagine. Let me talk about some of my favorite movies that happened here. On the left, we're about to pass by stage 14, once home to the Grinch on Mount Crumpet in Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. So they built the big cave where he lived. Also used for the historical recreation of Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks. You know that famous line, "Houston, we have a problem?" This was Houston. So they built NASA's Mission Control Room. And then on the right, we're passing by stage 15, home to a scene from Jurassic Park. Yeah, the one where the kids are running from the raptors in the kitchen. And then when the raptors crash into their own reflection, the kids are able to escape safely. But it's so cool to think that these big moments are kind of just like next door neighbors here on our back lot. Smaller stages coming up on the right. Number 19 was used for Oppenheimer, the Academy Award-winning Best Motion Picture with Cillian Murphy. We've also had some other Oscar winners with our Universal family, including Jessie Buckley winning for Best Leading Actress in Hamnet in a drama, and also Hacks with Jean Smart. They film over here that she has took home for Best Leading Actress in a comedy series. But now these stages on the right are home to The Paper, the little office spinoff I talked about before we head out.
Hi, Studio Tour.
We're here on the lot where we film The Paper, which follows our characters' day-to-day lives as employees of a struggling newspaper, the Toledo Truth-Teller.
That's right. Unlike many other TV shows, The Paper uses multiple cameras and a variety of shot types and movements to give our show a true documentary feel.
Because the camera is always around whenever we're on the set, it's important that we stay in character.
Hey, Oscar, what's your favorite part of working on the lot?
I wasn't expecting you to ask me that. You know what? I love being around talented, wonderful, hilarious people. I also get to work with Chelsea Fry. How about you, Chelsea? What's your favorite?
Oh, I love waving to the tramps.
Oh. Okay. You can probably stop waving now.
No, that's fine. Just try.
Yeah?
Yeah, just try. It's good.
So they're working on season 2 right now. And be sure to tune into The Paper on Peacock if you're a fan of The Office. Here on the left, though, we are passing by other office spaces. I always recommend reading the names on the little white placards because you might recognize some of them. In the past, we've had people like Dwayne Johnson occupy these offices, Jordan Peele, but currently also home to Mark Platt Productions, and they are the company behind Wicked, the long-running Broadway musical, now Oscar-winning film franchise. And you're going to see Mark Platt's office in just a moment. It'll be on the left, be kind of towards the back. You'll see the original Broadway logo with the artwork for Elphaba and Glinda, as we've known it for over 2 decades at this point. And now you can watch Wicked from the comfort of your own home, but I always recommend if you can see the Broadway production or one of the touring productions, it's so magical. Check it out. Last classic office to point out on the left is number 5195, little silhouette on the side of it. It was the former office of Alfred Hitchcock, the horror director, who brought us classics like Vertigo, The Birds, and Psycho. One new office to point out with the big windows here, it's connected into sound stages where we filmed the fun comedy series St. Denis Medical.
Welcome to St. Denis Medical Center. St. Denis Regional Medical! I have access to some really good stuff, and I will hook you up.
Yeah.
No, man! That was a test!
We're like the Avengers, you know?
We're not supposed to have favorite patients, but we do.
I almost don't want him to get better.
Pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse. Wow.
They just got picked up for season 3, so it's been busy. It's cool to think that their whole hospital set is right behind that little open door on the left-hand side. But the exterior, the outside of the hospital, is actually here in the back lot. On the right-hand side, a city is about to come into view for you, and it can be any city that you can possibly imagine. It's based on New York, but it can be used as Oregon, which is what's happening, a little town in Oregon, I should say, for St. Denis. You'll see their big hospital facade built for the show has this big awning sticking out in front of it. Across the way, you'll see those little steps used in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, where Kevin McAllister goes looking for his uncle's renovated apartment, and there's a goose. Do you see that goose crossing? That's fun. But on screen, just a few more stars who have walked across these steps in the past, including Elvis Presley back in 1969, for Redford. We also got Arnold Schwarzenegger and many others. And I love that this set shows you these steps through the decades, but it might be fun now to take you all the way back to 1955, Hill Valley, California, from Back to the Future. So here's our hero, Marty McFly, looking up at the town's famous clock tower. And if you want to see it, take a look to your left. There she is in all of her glory. You might notice it looks a little different now. It says City Hall on the front, but I promise if you take off that front piece, it's a false front, it'll reveal the famous columns just like you see in the original film.
It was actually the back lot, the courthouse square, that inspired the entire climax to Back to the Future.
I had scenes up in the clock tower on that ledge. So it was a ledge about that wide. And I was standing inside looking at the ledge, and I already had vertigo. I just thought there's no way in the world, no way I'm going to stand on that. I was up there for quite a while. Of course, I had a cable.
And the film just celebrated its 40th anniversary last summer. Check it out, it's always so good, always a lot of fun. But now we're heading away from our little town, and we're going to take you to the Big Apple. For fans of the K-pop group Blackpink, you're going to want to look to the left. At the end of the street, there's the Park Terrace Hotel. In front of that is where Jisoo did her solo music video called Flower. Before we get too deep into New York, let me talk about our very own co-host, Mr. Jimmy Fallon. Oh my gosh, the goose! Hi, buddy!
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live.
He's really just minding his own business. That's so funny.
That mugged over there. An old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
You can even see this is a 1940s New York in Marvel's Captain America, the First Avenger with Chris Evans. There's a scene where he hops on top of a taxi which swerves around a corner. It's this exact corner that we're taking right now at a much slower speed. Stop work in movies is a main reason to film here because it's a lot safer. Don't have to worry about people going about their day or damaging real businesses or anything like that. We can also hide all of your equipment in places. Might notice a little bit is actually tucked away over here on the left-hand side. We got parking lots everywhere, so you don't have to shuttle your cast and crew across town. Saves a lot of time, and it all comes to life right here. We also have had some pretty cool classic musicals here, like Thoroughly Modern Nelly with Julie Andrews, also Disney's Newsies with Christian Bale back in 1992, and so much more. Other music videos include Lady Gaga's Edge of Glory, also had the Beyonce here for her Cowboy Carter World Tour concert footage. And the Goose is still there. Hi, buddy. I was just joking with our driver. I was like, he's going to walk all the way in front of us again. But luckily, he let the tram pass. Oh, what a good time. Be sure to check out these sets also in Season 2 of Ted, airing on Peacock on March 5th. Will be a 1990s Boston. But now, an exciting painted wall to show you on the right, done by spray paint artist Tristan Eaton.
And an instrumental part of the process of designing these murals was getting to go to the Universal Archive. Going there, I got to see in person props from the movies, photos from behind the scenes, original illustrations from those movie posters, all this stuff. I had an early affection for movie monsters. I was always fascinated by the magic behind making movies, but I fell in love with zombie movies and monster movies as a young kid.
And technically, Tristan got his career started by first illegally painting billboards and buildings, but eventually he would be discovered. And now if you take a look to the left, you'll see some big sound stages across the way. That's actually where we filmed The Voice, the long-running music competition. So we do all the live shows with the celebrity guests. We wrapped up season 28 recently, and next up is the All-Star Battle coming up. But long before The Voice was here, we had this little pond on the left. Looks like some ducks are enjoying it right now. Maybe our friend the goose will also show up. But this was once home to the legendary creature from the Black Lagoon. I'll pause so you can get a look at the Gill Man on screen. He was played by two different actors. We're likely looking at Ben Chapman, who did all the land scenes, but then there's a stuntman named Rico Browning who could hold his breath for over 4 minutes at a time, doing the underwater sequences that were so iconic for this film. But now we're going to visit the home of the other monsters, a place we call Little Europe. I just want you to picture Dracula lurking behind a corner, or the Wolfman transforming under the light of a full moon, or even Frankenstein's monster just looking for some friendly human contact. This can be any place in the world just by changing the signs around. In the past century, I just want to point this out actually. Here on the left-hand side, this is new. This is what's called holding. We put this up here for a lot of our background actors so they can hang out and like rest and eat some lunch and stuff before they're ready to go to set and perform. So that actually just went up. This wasn't here earlier, so always things are changing. But anyway, I want to talk about these sets because in the past century, they have been turned into places like Egypt in 1933's The Mummy, Paris in 1923's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Paris once again for a 2024 Paris Olympics commercial starring Sabrina Carpenter, the pop singer. They had Sabrina make it look like she was at like a little coffee shop with people riding around on mopeds, and then with digital animation they added the Eiffel Tower behind her. We've also recently had Ariana Grande here for her Hampstead music video. It's all in black and white and actually pays homage to the 1930s Frankenstein films that also use these sets. So it goes to show how much influence the monster movies have had here in Hollywood, even a century later.
I think we always all think of monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein,
Wolfman,
Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera.
classic films are just brilliantly made.
That Frankenstein image, Flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world.
That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film.
I was just mesmerized by it.
Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
It's still ringing our memories now. We love it.
I always say, if you have an opportunity to watch any of those classic monster films, it's truly a beautiful study in the production value. Just to know that these films were made when this was a brand new technology and people were seeing things for the first time, like moving pictures and special effects makeup. And also just to know everything was designed and created by hand by all of the incredible crew members a century ago. But on that note, folks, time for me to tell you, we're probably about way through our tour at this point. So once again, if you need guest assistance, if you need to get my attention, just reach out, grab that red emergency cord. I'll come help you out. Otherwise, just sit back and enjoy the rest of our time together. Quick look to the right, you'll see a bit of our old Western set pieces here. Imagine Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, and all the other classics who've run this town. And Westerns were the most prominent film genre from like the earliest days of filmmaking. These movies were pretty wholesome, particularly the ones made in the US. Nothing too intense in them, even the bar fights were more fun than anything else. But when the 70s rolled around, that's when American audiences were now looking for things that were like bigger, better, and dare I say even bitier. So the age of the cowboy, or maybe I should say the sunset on the American cowboy at the top of the 1970s, and instead a new monster emerged, one that was based on real fear. And it truly kicked off in 1975 with Jaws. So let's take a little trip to Amity Island, quaint little New England town, unfortunately ravaged by a set of infamous shark attacks that summer of '75. But that was like 51 years ago. I can't imagine we have anything to worry about now. Tourist season's over in Amity anyway. Wait a second. Something's happening. Everybody keep your arms and legs inside the gates at all times and remain seated. We do not want to become shark bait. We do have somebody patrolling the waters. Hey, Jack, what do you see out there? Anything? Jack? No! Jack! Oh my gosh, this is terrible! Oh, no! Oh, geez. Okay, we have a confirmed shark sighting here. I am so sorry you had to see that. Every night in my dreams, I see you, feeling you. I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go. Well, now there goes the dock. Great. Okay. We're gonna need a bigger tram. Close call there, everybody. But just a little observation from a few of you. You seem completely unfazed by the very real fire, but terrified of a plastic shark, huh? Fascinating. Not to worry, though. What you just experienced is what we call an animatronic shark. He's like a large robotic puppet. Like a Muppet. With teeth. Ugh, the more I think about that, the worse it gets. Never mind. We're gonna leave this forsaken vacation island behind, and instead, I'm gonna talk about me for a second. How indulgent, I know. I'm from the Great Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington. Anybody else? Not a soul. That's okay. That's all right. Even if you're not from Seattle, you probably know the weather, and that is rain. And living in LA now, I get a little homesick when it's like March and 80 degrees. It's a little weird for me. So we're gonna bring that little Washington vibe to us here in Hollywood with some special effects here on the left-hand side. We got some speakers in the buildings for thunder, strobe effects for lightning, then the best technology in the business for rain. Sprinklers. Cue the rain. And for those of you filming it, you might notice the rain's not showing up on your camera the same way it does to the naked eye. That's because rain is translucent, making it pretty difficult for the camera to pick up in the first place. So to make this work in a movie, you have to light it very specifically and then use a lot of it. So this torrential downpour is more like a romantic drizzle on screen. But our special effects team, they know you've seen rain before, so they're going to kick it up a notch. So watch out for the flash flood! On screen, see this effect in Big Fat Liar of Paul Giamatti and Frankie Muniz.
You can't outrun a wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang
on, funny folks! Poor guy's getting washed back to Amity Island with the shark. Yeah, we're not going to go through the Jaws attraction. We're just going to drive by it. But I'm going to let Steven Spielberg do the talking.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the trap.
And this summer, we mark 50 years of that classic studio tour attraction. But now we're going to leave that little island town behind and bring you to a different area of the lot. Oh, we have little squirrels now. So many animals. They live here on the lot. How fun. We're going to talk about the other famous families that live here. So we're checking out our Colonial Street, used for a lot of commercials these days. We've also had some classic TV shows. On the left, you'll see this purple house with the white trim. Once home to the Munsters, quirky little sitcom family who lived at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, but some of you might know this as Wisteria Lane from the ABC drama Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
They're able to do some cool things on this show, like have a house catch on fire and a tornado cut through town. And that's all okay because none of these houses are real. You're not going to find like furniture or rooms or basic infrastructure. Instead, some of them don't even have all four walls. Let me show you this one on the right. You'll see this little back patio attached to this house here. When we come around the front, see if you can look through the windows on the front door, because you'll see an entire view of the San Fernando Valley. Not because they have a big window, but because this house doesn't even have a back wall. It's only built up on three sides. So, isn't that crazy? So to make this work in a movie, you do what's called an establishing shot. So you film the outside, then there's a cut, and then the next thing you see is a sound stage. And your brain just puts it together that you went inside the house you were just looking at. And a show that's doing this quite a bit and also just using like different parts of the lot in really clever ways, my tour guide brain's like, whoa, is the show The Burbs with Keke Palmer. So welcome to Ashfield Place, everybody.
Welcome to Ashfield Place, the safest town in America. So, what's the deal with that Victorians? There have been whispers of murder. Which one of us is the murderer? So are we gonna go in?
Do white ladies love salads? Hell yeah, we're going in.
Of course, that is based on the 1980s film of the same name starring Tom Hanks. So see if you can catch the Tom Hanks cameo in the first episode and also see our Colonial Street in its newest form. But on that note, I gotta tell you, we're probably about 15 minutes from the end of the tour. We'll be bringing you back. But if you can't wait to use the restroom, if anything pops up, once again, just reach up, grab that red emergency cord. But otherwise, sit back and enjoy our last bit of time together. As we come around the corner, still more fun to be had. Showing you Universal's collection of picture cars. All vehicles you've seen in movies and TV shows, some just as famous as the actors that drive them. I'll talk about some of my favorites. Starting on the right-hand side, We have Magnum PI's Ferrari, driven by Tom Selleck and that famous mustache of his. And some of the Back to the Future 2 cars from the distant future of 2015. And then on the left, we have the Flintstones, man-powered cars. And then on the very end on the left, the Fast and the Furious franchise. 6 sports cars. One of them is an imposter, though, the yellow one. That's Bumblebee from Transformers. Guess he wants to be part of the family, huh? How appropriate. They're parked behind a little family-owned establishment. But I gotta tell you, something bad happened here once. A lady checked in and was never seen again. Anyone ever hear of the Bates Motel? An iconic location in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And it looks like Norman Bates himself is out and about. Interesting. He's probably very busy running this place, so I'm just going to keep talking about the movie while he does his thing. So when this film was made in 1960, it was in the smack dab middle of the Hays Code, which was like censorship laws that said you couldn't show certain things on screen. Oh, I have a feeling this is something we weren't supposed to see in 1960. Whoa, it's like 3:48 in broad daylight. What the heck? Oh, Norman, hello. I'm so sorry. We stumbled upon the bad time. Oh, geez, we have to go. I don't know what to do. This is so bad. Norman, please don't come any closer. Ah! You guys okay back there? Oh, what a psycho, am I right? All right, we're not completely out of the woods. We got to get past his mother here in the house on the left. She's been sitting upstairs since 1960. Trams been driving through here since 1964, so...
They're probably watching me. Well, let them see what kind of a person I am.
All right, and on that creepy note, we're going to leave Psycho behind and take you somewhere a little different. Take it in, everybody. The gorgeous New Jersey. Yeah, the Garden State. Although it doesn't really look like a garden anymore. Instead, this is the aftermath of an alien invasion, as seen in Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. For this scene, they did replicate a real New Jersey neighborhood, tore it apart, but maybe most impressive, dropped a real 747 passenger jet on top of it. That's a real aircraft, everybody. Look around, see how many pieces you can find. And on screen, see how it was used in War of the Worlds.
When we first began to sit down to talk about War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Listen, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Down closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
It's quite the sight, isn't it? A little backstory on that plane, because it was originally built in the 1980s and had an actual commercial career in the sky, but then it was sent to the aircraft graveyard to turn to dust at the end of its career, but then plucked out of obscurity and made into a movie star. But now we're going to take you into another sci-fi film that took place right here in Southern California. Let's check out the sets of Jordan Peele's sci-fi thriller with a Western twist called Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Planet, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking room and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Share. That's what this whole place is supposed to be based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking and so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, old rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the promised land. Welcome to the world of no.
Ominous, isn't it? If you want to find out what happened here, you're gonna have to watch the movie. Jordan Peele is our modern horror guy, bringing us movies like Nope, Us, and Get Out. And he actually uses a lot of practical effects in his movies, like the real things versus digital. But let's say he wants to go digital. He can do that here on our right-hand side. I'm going to break down how this blue screen technology works with a scene from Sully. So this was based on a real event where a passenger jet had to make an emergency landing on the Hudson River between New York and New Jersey. There were some incredible photos and videos that were put on the news that day, and they were recreated here for the film. Let me pause. So the plane, the people, and the water, that was all real. We did that over here on the right-hand side in this pit behind all the parked trucks. But then the New Jersey skyline was added digitally using chroma key technology. It's where you take that high contrast color blue, replace it digitally with whatever image you want to bring it to life. And the finishing product, I gotta say, looks pretty dang accurate. And it just shows how we can go anywhere in the world without leaving our Hollywood backlot. It is now time to start wrapping things up, so we're gonna leave you with one final story of inspiration from director Steven Spielberg about his time taking a tour just like you.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
Isn't that story incredible? We'll be off in just a few minutes. But it's just the idea that this kid came to Universal, had this big adventure. Obviously, it was the 60s, so the shenanigans a teen could get into back then might not happen the same way today. But the fact that not long after, at the age of 26, that's when he would be signed on with Universal to direct Jaws, the film that would be the highest grossing film of all time at the time of its release. So as we wrap things up, I hope you had a lot of fun. I also want to tell you about something fun that's happening this spring. That's Universal Fan Fest nights. We've got a whole bunch of different franchises like Scooby-Doo and the Universal Monsters, One Piece, The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and more here each and every night at our special ticketed after-hours event, Fan Fest nights, where gaming, sci-fi, anime, and more all meet. So check out tickets on UniversalStudiosHollywood.com. But now time for me to roll the credits. If you'd like to purchase any Universal movies or shows, please visit www.uphe.com or any of our retailers here in the park. Be sure to check out the Universal Studios Hollywood app to fill your day. We're open till 7 p.m. tonight, so it's got it's got menus, maps, everything you need. But on behalf of myself, Emily, your tour guide, and Moose, your driver, we hope you've enjoyed this exclusive behind-the-scenes experience. I'll be out there if you have questions or want to say hi, but otherwise, that's a wrap on the studio tour. Bye, everyone! Thank you.